Hi, good evening, and welcome to Booth Brothers 16 already. And it is a really packed show again for you tonight. And it's the 20th of July, and it's a very special day. We're now out of lockdown totally in the UK. And what that means is very, very soon I might be able to get myself over to the States. And might be having a little chat about that later, Joe. There's a few little developments happening, which I'm really excited about. You heard me just say there, Joey, of course. Joey Ryan, there he is, the man with the big headphones. He's got a new hat on again this week, I can see. Is that a new hat?
Yeah, I'm friends with the guys from 1PKT, and I went out to a tournament on Friday night, and Travis and I carpooled together. He's one of the owners of the company, and he had a bunch of merch in my trunk, and sure enough, he left this one behind. So I don't know if he meant to give it to me or if it was just an accident, but I'm sure if it was an accident, he's going to find out now.
But talking of hats, I of course have my hat with me. That can only mean one thing: another awful rap. But it's a good one tonight, and it's about a guy from Amiga TV, the main executive producer from Amiga TV, Stephen Wyatt, and he will be on a little bit later. And I've got a lovely little rap for him. Also, what an honour it is to have Tony Robles on the show tonight. What a legend he is, and he's going to be coming up very, very shortly. And we also have a third guest this week. I told you it was packed. And we're going to have Mr. James Hanshew he's a cue maker, James Hanshew, very, very famous man out there. And he is with Melina Mike. Now, we're going to introduce Melina in just a second. There he is. Look at him, looking lovely and handsome as ever, in his blue T-shirt. Hey, Mikey.
We made it back, boys. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, weeks. Missed you guys.
You've been traveling the country. You've been traveling the country at pool tournaments, and now you're at the Hanshew compound. So good to have you back, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got.
Thanks, buddy. It's been long.
Guys, very quickly, if you wouldn't mind just hitting up the chat and letting us know, please, if you can hear us clearly and you can see us clearly. Don't worry about seeing me. It doesn't matter about seeing me. But the main thing is you can hear Melina, Mike and Joey Ryan and the guests. And we've already got some people in the chat. So, look, first time catching the show, says Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Good to have you with us, mate. And if you've got any comments or questions at all for any of our guests tonight, please don't hesitate to get in contact. Get those fingers working on the keyboard and get those questions out to either Tony Robles, Mr. James Hanshew, or Stephen Wyatt. Any questions for them whatsoever. So what do you say? We get right into it, guys.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, before we do, I just want to give a shout out to Board Lockpicker. He's our sponsor, and he's actually in here right from the start. I think he normally has league or something on Tuesday nights, so he must have got a break this week. But welcome. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll get your ad up in shortly. But if you guys haven't checked it out, we'll do it right now. Go to the Board Lockpicker YouTube channel and subscribe to that as soon as this show's over. The guy picks all kinds of locks. He's a big supporter of pool, and we're happy to have him as a sponsor. So thank you, Board Lockpicker.
Yeah, okay. I had a really nice chat with that guy during the week, Joey, and we were talking pool and stuff, and he really is a huge pool fan. He loves his pool. So please go and subscribe to his channel. Not just yet, though, because we've got some other stuff to get through. So let's introduce him then, the main man of the moment, Mr. Tony Robles.
Hey, what's up,
there
Tony?
There he is, look.
How's it going, guys?
It's great, man.
Well, what a pleasure it is to have you on the show. I mean, I've been reading all about you, Tony, and you've got a really interesting past in the way you got into the game at such a young age. And I read a beautiful thing which resonated with me because you were talking about you were attracted to the sound of the balls, the clicking of the balls and the smacking of the balls in the back of the pocket. And that's what first attracted me to it. And, the rest is history. You've practiced so hard. You read a book from cover to cover the first day. A guy gave it to you in a billiard hall, I remember reading. And you read it in one night, and then you went back to the pool hall, put it all into practice, and then you've had a terrific career in pool. And also not just pool. I mean, I've been reading that you've got something to do with technical advising to one of my favourite shows, actually, Suits, Boardwalk Empire. Shall I go on?
Correct.
and more, right? You're quite a character, you are. So look, let's get into it, guys. You've got some questions for this amazing pool player. Let's have them. Let's get this show on the road.
Well,
yeah.
Joey, should I be worried that this gentleman knows so much about me?
Tony, I got to tell you, it's kind of creepy. I was wondering if you had a question in there, but no, he just had pages and pages of notes on
Yeah,
you.
I see that.
But Tony, one of the
I
reasons
hope there's a Wikipedia page, because if not, we got some questions for Mark. What the hell's going on over here?
Yeah, Tony, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on this week is because we have this big tournament. CSI and Predator have partnered for a pro series, and I'm going to be playing in the first event out in Tucson. Figure I don't have much of a chance, but I just want to get out there and play. And I saw that you were on the players list, and I'm like, man, we did the Pool Player podcast together, and I was just so impressed by you, and I can't wait to meet you in person. So tell us, what's getting you all the way out to Arizona to come play in this event?
You know, Joey, I love pool. You know how much I love pool, and I wasn't able to compete full time like I used to in the 90s and early 2000s because, you know, I had responsibilities. I had to raise a boy. I started all over, as you know. And, you know, I had the tour and I had the lead, and that kept me busy for the last 12 plus years. And now that I stopped doing that and moved down here, I find myself having all the time in the world to practice during the day. Now that little one is going to school from 9 to 4 p.m. every day. So I have all the time in the world. So as soon as I heard about this tour, I got excited. I said, oh, I got to start practicing at least 5 hours a day. I started practicing 5 hours a day, and I caught this pain in my glute that was so bad that I've only been able to play 2 hours in the last 2.5 weeks.
Oh,
and
man.
And it's because I said, it's got to be because I'm 55, not 25. You know, so I said, I'm going to have to take it slow. So I just got an MRI today, and I'm waiting the results tomorrow. And worst case scenario, if I have to get a cortisone shot, I will. But I'm still excited about going to this tournament because I think that this to me is the first official pro tour that has been established since the UPA. The UPA, as you know, was done over 10 years ago. You know, it's been a long time since the United States has had an actual pro tour for the pro players. So I'm really excited about it. And I think that I still have enough in me to do, you know, some good things in the game. So I want to be able to take advantage of that now that I finally have the time. And, you know, I have the full support of my wife. I'm going to play in every one except the one in Vegas because I have to go to Emily Duddy's wife. I promised her a year ago that I would go. So that's going to be the beginning of September.
That's awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing you out here, Tony. And despite the fact that you're only practicing a couple hours a day because of the injury, which it sounds kind of funny, right, with pool and injury, but it sounds like that's what it is. How do you feel like you're playing?
You know, I feel like I'm playing very well, you know, despite the fact that I haven't been able to practice as much as I want. But, you know, you always want to make sure that you stay sharp, you know, because it affects you. It can affect you mentally if you're not hitting balls every day. But I think I'm strong-minded that way. You know, I have a strong mental game, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's just I can't believe that Predator's even doing this. And the fact that I get to play in the Predator table for the first time, I'm excited about that alone because we're in the process of doing renovations here. We're going to add to the house, and I'm going to build a pool room. And, of course, I'm going to get a Predator table there as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Mike, you got something?
Quite the company man, Mr. Robles. Yeah, I am. Tony, you're obviously a legend on the East Coast, and what you did out there in the New York pool scene. And I know you just recently moved to Florida. Is there anything on the horizon as far as taking what you did there in New York and kind of putting your footprint out there in Florida?
You know, I think I spoke to Joey about this last time, and Predator really wanted me to continue the tour here. And the reason why I declined is because I really didn't know how much time I lost with my family because I was literally working 38 weekends out of the year, and I barely had any time to spend with them. So now that all this time has opened up and I've seen all the good quality time that I've been able to spend with my family, I decided that I needed a break. So I'm gonna stay, you know, in hiding for now, you know, and hopefully, you know, you never know. I mean, I might do like Michael Fidak used to sponsor the NYC 8-ball championships every year, and last time we did it, he added 15,000, and he wanted to add 20,000 for 2020, but obviously, you know, the pandemic changed things. And I'm still in touch with him because he's down here in Florida, and he might be interested in doing something big. So if I do end up doing something, it'll probably be a Michael Fidak's. Maybe we'll change it to the Florida State 8-ball championships or something. But we'll figure something out.
Well,
Tony,
I know that the state of pool in general is better whenever Tony Robles is involved, one way or the other. So, and I've heard such great things about you as a person, but just the imprint you've had on pool surviving and thriving on the East Coast, man. We need you to go and keep your feet wet a little bit. You know, there ain't nothing wrong with spending time with the family, but just, you know, we need you too, buddy.
No, I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for the kind words and the support. And like I said, you know, I have been in talks with Michael Fidak, and who I want to say hi to, and I could never thank him enough for his support. And, you know, who knows, maybe we'll do even bigger things with his support.
Look forward. Can I say, Tony, I definitely think you've got the wrong nickname, assassin. I mean, you're just too nice to be an assassin, or maybe that's the quality you need to be an assassin. You know, you creep up on people, they're not expecting it. This lovely guy sitting there, and yeah, exactly, the silent assassin. I'll be as quiet as I can. You spoke about practicing there 5 hours a day, but you can only do a couple at the moment, you were saying. But can you just tell the viewers what kind of practice you do? You know, what do you like to do? Drills? Do you like to just run racks? Or what's your routine?
Straight pool's my game. I absolutely love playing straight pool, and I love running, you know, hundreds whenever I'm in stroke. I haven't been able to do it here because the South Bay Billiard Academy that I play out of has some pretty tight pockets, about 4 1/4. And so, you know, it's impossible to run a lot of balls in it, but it's actually made me sharper. You know, I feel like I'm more focused when it comes to playing because, you know, no one wants to miss. You want to focus. If you don't care about missing, then, I mean, you know, you're not going to focus. But, you know, if you're someone who's a competitor like I am, you're going to find a way to make it happen.
So when you get this Predator table in your house, what size pockets will you ask them to put?
Oh, no doubt. I'm going to get 5-inch pockets because I have 4.5 when I lived in New York on Long Island. I had my own pool table over there, and I had 5-inch pockets. I mean, 4.5-inch pockets, and I ran 189 once on that table, but I mean, it took me a very long time before I got there. And then I went on a 5-inch pocket, and I ran almost 200 within like 5th try or something, you know. So it's like, you know, it makes a big difference. People don't understand that straight pool is a game that requires you to cheat the pocket, to gain an angle, to break up clusters, to play position. Mm-hmm. And unless you have the ability to do so, you know, it's very, very difficult for you to run balls on a consistent basis.
Hey, Tony, what's your high run?
Hey, Tony.
My high run is 268 balls. And at the point that I ran that was during a league match at a place called Corner Billiards, which is now known as Amsterdam Billiards. And that I was running on average 100 to 150 a day. I never left the building unless I ran at least 100 a day. But that was when I was practicing 8 to 10 hours a day. And all I practiced was straight pool. But, you know, when my son was born and then I started playing full-time on the Pro Tour in the 90s, I quit playing straight pool for almost 12 years just to focus on 9-ball. So I think had I kept going with straight pool back then when I was practicing as much as I was, I would have definitely broken 300 or 400, no doubt about it.
So we got into this a little bit on the podcast that you did with me, Pool Player Podcast, where you talked about your lessons and your coaching and how you were able to like really maximize that in New York. But I want to give you the opportunity to talk about, like, I don't know if you know, but Mark White here, he's also a coach. He's been doing some virtual coaching. He's been helping me with my stroke and some other things. But tell people kind of what you do with your lessons and how they can get in touch with you.
I mean, you can always find me on Facebook. You know, I teach players of all levels. I teach all games. And my specialty is also straight pool, like I mentioned, and 8-ball. I have a passion for teaching. I never get bored. I could have a student set up a ball right in front of the pocket for a full hour, and I know players that go insane, and I have the patience of a saint when it comes to that, because my goal is to help promote the game and help build it up to the level that I've always felt that it should have been throughout my entire career. And that's why I've always conducted myself the way I have, because I still have faith and always will have faith that pool will be at the level of every other sport, because it deserves to be there. And just because the movie The Hustler came out back in the days and pretty much took pool back to the Stone Ages and has left it there since, people shouldn't associate, you know, the game with hustling, because it's completely changed. It's so much. You go to Amsterdam now, you see sons, fathers, daughters, families playing pool and having a great time, as opposed to having some guy going from table to table trying to hustle someone for a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. There's a lot of people here.
Tony, I got just one more question for you, buddy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Joey, but I know you brought up straight pool a lot. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Thorsten Holman recently getting inducted to the BCA Hall of Fame.
I sent him a message the other day, a personal message, and I can't tell you enough how proud of him I am, and it's not surprising at all. I mean, I consider him not just one of the greatest straight pool players that ever lived, and I put him in the top 5, and that's saying a lot. But I also consider him one of the greatest players that ever lived, and I don't feel like he gets enough credit, and it's a real shame, you know. There have been many times that he's had a stellar year where I personally felt he should have been invited to certain events, and he was not, you know. And I put him, and I know him very well. He's like a brother to me, and you know, I can tell that it bothered him a lot. It affected him, and he kind of, you know, went into hiding because of that, you know.
Yeah, I've heard similar.
So Tony,
he's a champion.
Yeah, so we don't want to take up your whole night here, and I just have to say I really appreciate you joining us. I'm excited to see you. Hold on, Mark. We'll get to you. I'm excited to see you out in Arizona. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm gonna have to buy you dinner or something when we get out here. Okay?
Yeah, please. Let's do it. So let's definitely get together when I get out there. We get out there. I definitely intend on playing there. And before I finish talking with you, I have to remember to say a very special thank you to Predator Q's, who has always supported me from the very beginning. And if it weren't for their support with running the tour, there's no way I could have done what I did. You know, and I appreciate, you know, what Mike said about, you know, what I've done for pool. I've always taken pride in, like I said earlier, in helping building up the sport. But my boss, aka the wife, right? Boss, she's the one that helped made it all possible. So there's no way I could have done it without her. But I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that.
Gotcha. And you know, I wasn't kicking you out because I know Mark has like 5 pages.
I'm joking. I'm just joking. I prepare and use. It all goes out.
He's got a book ready just on.
Come on, Mark.
Every other year of Tony Robles.
No, look. I've got loads and loads of info. I always like to be prepared, but it always goes off on different subjects, and I love it. And like you, Tony, I just love the game. And hopefully, when I'm out in the States very, very soon, because I am going to come out for a few tournaments to do some commentary and some stuff like that, and hopefully a little bit of coaching here and there. And it'd be lovely to catch up with you. I think my first stop might actually be Tampa. I'm not sure. I'm working on it. But anyway, I'll see you at one of the big tournaments, and it's been a pleasure to meet you. It's been on my bucket list, and finally I've got to meet you. So thanks for joining the Booth Brothers. Pleasure.
I should be the one thanking you for the opportunity.
We appreciate it, Tony.
Every single one of you. You guys are stellar, and what you're doing for the game is tremendous, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Tony.
Right.
Okay.
Have a great evening,
guys.
See ya.
Thank you. Well, what a guy.
Now I know why people have said such good things about Tony. Like everybody that I've ever talked to that's ever brought up Tony Robles has always said what a good guy he is, right? And that just goes to show what kind of character he is. Good job, man. Glad we got him on.
Just lovely, isn't he?
I've been meaning to get him on, and when I saw his name pop up on the players list for that Tucson tournament, I was like, this is a perfect time. Let me see what he... And believe it or not, I messaged him yesterday afternoon, so less than 24-hour notice, really, and he's like, sure, I got nothing to do, sure. So, love that about Tony. Great guy.
I'd like to go to the chat and just go through a few of the messages, if you don't mind, Joey.
Yeah, we got a couple people. Yeah, Island Man's in here. He's talking about Tony, saying... Tony's been served. Not sure what he meant by that. But then he said everybody should build an addition to their house and rent it out on Airbnb. Carl Core said hi Tony from Cameron, and Troy T. O.B. said good luck Tony Robles. And then Island Man came back with his wifey is the committee. So we all know that means. Right, Mike? Right, Melina Mike? We saw you had a big gap this week. Did you see that, Mark?
What's that?
Melina forgot about his wife's birthday and then had to straighten it up.
Yeah, he. I don't know how he got out of it in the end. I think she bought him a kennel for the garden. He was in the doghouse for a very long time, I think.
I was at Pat Deviney's. I was at Pat Deviney's and Tina was messaging me all day off and on, and she kind of dropped hints. Oh, my family's coming over for a party and we're gonna barbecue and do all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, we'll have a good time. And then I'm finally like winding down at the end. I'm finally winding down at the end of the night, and it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I was like, and she messaged me kind of upset, and I was like, what's going on? And then it snapped. The light bulb finally went off, but by then I already blew it. So for sure, I was trying to kiss some ass to go and make up for it, no doubt.
Dogged it. That's dogging it. Let me tell you. But hey, Mark, before we get on to our next guest, first of all, there's some other people popping in. Keith David's in here. Shan Demani, Paco,
boy Sean.
Paco. Yeah, Sean, is it Sean Demani? Okay. And also, I want to give a shout out to a buddy of mine. His name's Ryan Fedora. I don't know if you guys noticed, but up in the top corner now, we actually have a new logo. For the longest time, it was me and Mark White, and now we got this one. Check it out. Who's that young guy in the middle? Two old heads on the side and a young guy in the middle, but this is my buddy Ryan Fedora did that for me, and I know he's probably doing some other stuff for you too, Mike, I think, messing around with some stuff. Real good guy there.
He is. Brian's a good guy, real thorough, and I really appreciate all the effort that Ryan's done. So, he does outstanding work for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Mark, you want to introduce the next guest, or?
Yeah, shall we? We've got loads of it. Just let you know what's coming up. We've got the result of the caption competition, and it was a real good one this week. Do you remember it, Joey, with the three guys standing at the urinal, as you call it? There we go. That was. Oh look! Oh, I've sent you the wrong one of that as well.
Oh my goodness!
I've sent you the one with a caption on it. I didn't mean to do that. I'm having a nightmare this week, so
dogging it.
Apologies. I fell asleep tonight and I woke up with minutes to spare, so I'm really sorry about that. But I've had a busy day. It's all for a good cause, though. Trust me. So yeah, I mean, let's get him on, and I guess I'm going to have to get my hat and my bling out.
Oh really?
Yes. It's been a while.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I still
official.
can't. I'm not sure if I still can't rap or not, but we'll have a go, shall we? And I seem to have lost my cap somewhere. I don't know where my cap's gone. Can I do it without a cap? No.
I got this new. I got this new one, Mark, and I got this one sitting here. I wish I could send it out to you.
Just teleport it through the screen for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guy coming up now, I've really been looking forward to meeting him. He's a man after my own heart. We've had a similar career path, shall we say, and he's risen to the top now. Of course, he's executive producer for Amiga TV, and here he is. He's going to pop up just like that, and there he is. Look,
what's up, guys?
Hey,
looking very handsome.
Mr. Company man with the shirt.
Yeah, I got to rep the shirt, man. It's actually the most comfortable shirt I own, so I got to wash it like every other day because I wear it all the time.
That's awesome.
We got to tell Mike to get you a few. That way you ain't got to wash them every day. Mike can fade it. We'll get you some more orders, Steve. Don't worry about it, buddy.
Hey, as many shirts as Phil goes through, you should be used to
it. That's true, man.
How's it going, guys?
So, Stephen, shall we get it out of the way quickly, Joey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, we're going to get this out of the way. Now, he does know that I've written a rap about him.
Right.
Most guests do get a rap. So here's yours. You're going to get a bad rap, though, as we call it. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yo, welcome to the show. You ain't no Mike Hong. It's okay, I'll just change a few words of this song. My name is almost the same. I'm White, not Wyatt. But I think by the looks of it, we're on the same diet. Just to let you know, I did okay that with him.
Oh,
I
boy.
did okay that with him. Now, I know a little about you. One of your passions is streaming, but you're also a DJ, spinning tunes while girls screaming. I was a DJ and I also did streaming, but I give girls nightmares. They is scared while they're dreaming. You is so important, you're a producer and executive, but on the other side of the camera, you are always competitive. When I'm in the States, I'm going to have my mic and a cue, and I'll even bring my decks along so I can DJ with you. Mark Wyatt out. Two-piece cue out.
Two-piece cue. You know,
I dropped the cap.
Mark, I just realized I got to change the caption. It's so loud, Mark. We got to get some softer chains. I got to change the caption when you rap. Instead of saying Mark White, it needs to say two-piece cue.
Two-piece.
Nah, I'm thinking of retiring him. Actually, we had a very horrible message, and I don't think I should be rapping anymore. Actually, I'm going to carry on doing it.
Well, I want to ask Stephen some questions, but I'm afraid it'll impede on your 15 pages of notes about him, Mark. So, am I free to go?
That's all I've got. That's all I've got on Steve.
So, Stephen, how'd you get hooked up with Omega TV? Tell us what it's all about, man.
Oh man. So before Omega, I did my own little stream, and I did local stuff. I worked with some people in Dallas. I did a lot of stuff in East Texas, which is where I'm from. But I got a call one day from Mike Hong, and when I first started, my goal was to have a pro on my stream, and I did that with my little stuff. I got Rob Saez on there, and then later Shane McMahon, Joey Gray, and Chip Compton, who are now commentators for us. And that was super cool. It was super cool for me because as just a pool fan, like that was my end goal for me. Sorry guys, my dog is a little excited here. Dexter.
Hey Dexter. Dexter. It doesn't kill things, does he?
That's actually what he's named after, though. He wants to kill something. So yeah, I got a call from Mike Hong, and he said, "Hey, we want to start doing our own thing, and we want to take it to the next level." And he said, we want to start somewhere, and we want to start with you. And I was taken back. I didn't know how to respond.
Yes.
You do something and it's kind of small. You don't expect a whole lot, and then a couple weeks later, you're streaming Shane Van Boning and Dennis Orcolo. It's wild. It really is. It's wild.
A lot of pressure. Were you nervous, like with these high profile matches?
It's kind of weird. I've been doing it for so long on my own stuff. I didn't have as much pressure, but it was a different pressure. Like we're doing different things. There's different aspects to it now, and more I got to stay on top of. My job's kind of weird. I sit next to the booth and I jump in on commentary a little bit, but I'm making sure that we have all of our sponsors taken care of. And Molina Mike's a sponsor. I got to make sure I got his logo up on there. It's a lot of pre-preparation. By the time the day comes, after the first 45 minutes, I'm golden and I'm just having a blast.
Yeah, I'm a proud sponsor with Omega Mike, and me and Mike got a pretty good friendship first of all, and business relationship. And when he first started doing this, I was real excited, and there was a high standard to go and live up to when it comes to Mike's streams. And you're not talking about going and streaming the Tuesday tournament at the hole in the wall down the road there, So we're talking about the best of the best players. So for him to go and ask you to join, Stephen, is a credit to you and what you've been able to go and accomplish. And you know, I can be kind of a critic sometimes. All in all, things have been really good. I mean, some things you just can't fade, like, you know, internet connection at a venue, you know. But if you do the homework and you communicate with people, people will respond to you, and you've done a really good job of that. I can tell you.
Yeah, Mike knows all about bad internet, Stephen. Let me tell you, because most weeks he has bad internet.
But I appreciate that. I mean,
you never miss a beat, buddy.
You know, Mike's had Omega Billiards for a while, and he does have a very high standard. And the fact that he even considered me obviously meant a lot to me. That was probably what I was most nervous about is keeping like the standard of Omega Billiards on the stream. But luckily, they've been really on top of, you know, hey, can we change this? Hey, can you do this? And so we've been a really good team so far, and I don't think that's going to change. The teamwork within the Omega Billiards TV team is incredible.
It's awesome.
I've done a little bit of.
So what's coming up next?
Go on, Mike. It's okay. Carry on. Yours is more interested in my question. Trust me.
Hey, I think the problem is Mike is a half a beat behind Mark, so he's catching us a half a beat behind. But go ahead, Mike.
Let's count him in.
Yeah. No, I was wondering, Stephen, what's coming up next for Omega TV? I know of a couple things, but what are you able to go and talk about as far as what's on the calendar?
So right now, the only thing that I have in front of me, it's pretty public knowledge. If you follow Omega Billiards or Mike Hong, Sky and Carlo, Skylar Woodward and Carlo Beato, former 9-ball world champion, playing a 2-time Mosconi Cup MVP. That match has a really interesting dynamic to it for me, because Carlo is such a good player, and I was kind of surprised to see how many people weren't familiar with Carlo. As a casual pool fan, they just weren't sure who Carlo Beato was or what his accolades were. This match is going to be really, really good. I have a feeling it might be. I mean, it's hard to say it's going to be our best match yet because all of our matches have been really competitive. We've seen some incredible things. I think we're going to see something special with Sky and Carlo. And then, let's see, what do we have after that? I think after Sky and Carlo, as far as I know, there is a tournament that I don't really know a whole lot about. But I know there's going to be a lot of money added. Mike posted it on the Omega Billiards. I think we're looking at something like $43,000 added. I don't have any details yet, but that's a big tournament. It's going to bring in a lot of good players, and I'd be really interested to see what kind of players list we see for that. It's going to be stout.
I can remember you mentioning Carlo Beato there. Yeah. He was actually very nicely goes with your story about streaming. That was my first ever stream and my first ever commentary in a big final was Carlo Beato in a qualifier for the Chinese 8-ball championship. And it was in Bangkok in a shopping mall there in Bangkok. And he was my first ever commentary and streaming at the same time. And I'm with you there. It is a nightmare. The nerves are going. I'm quite happy to just sit with a microphone and talk, but all that technical stuff, I don't like any of it. I'll just sit here with a mic.
Hey, Carlo is a great player. This is going to be a really tough match, I think, for Sky. But, you know, I love Sky's heart, and I think it's a great match. Board Lockpicker, who's in the chat, reminds us that Oscar Dominguez told a great story about Carlo on Pool Player Podcast. He came on and he was talking about him and his dad just landing in the Philippines and going out to the pool room and him playing this guy. And I want to say that Oscar lost Hill and he told his dad, he's like, I'm stealing in this match, and his dad's like, well, bet more. Well, it turns out it was Carlo Beato that he was playing, and the next day he watched Shane get beat by him, when Shane came in there. But yeah, that's going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to that one. Are they playing that on, Steven, tell us the details about that one. Is it a big table? What's the race? Do you know any of that?
Yeah, so I believe it's the same format.
You better know details.
I believe it's the same format as the of all the other matches. The only thing I'm not sure of is whether it's 9 on the spot or 1 on the spot. But
it's it's 9 on the spot. They're playing the same way as Shane and Dennis. And I just want to piggyback real quick on Joey. For those that don't know, 9 on the spot, Sky's break is probably top 5 in the world in that format. He's won Derby City in that format, but Carlo is a world champion. And it's not just thrown around. He's a world champion. He's one of the only guys in the Philippines that can play Anton even. So and for those who don't know, and I know Mark's very familiar with who Anton Raga is, he's a monster. So and Carlo is one of the only ones in the Philippines to go and do it. Now Carlo's history here in the States hasn't always been so great for whatever reason, but he does perform great on the world stage. But this is a premier 9-ball matchup, and Sky's got something to prove after what happened with Shane. So
he's a real tough match player, Carlo Biardo. I mean, I've seen him playing just in just playing in Hustlers. Actually, I've got the shirt on, Hustlers in Bangkok. Just going in and waiting for money matches and stuff. He is one fierce competitor, and he never gives up. That guy never. He's a real battler. So it's going to be a great. Oh, on the Sky Woodward thing, did you see on Facebook somebody's come up with a brilliant new nickname for him? He's just beaten Fedor Gorst, hasn't he? In a semi-final, I think it was. He beat Gorst, and somebody's come up with a great nickname, and they want him to start singing it. A guy called Carl Honey on Facebook. He's come up with this name, the Gorst Buster, and he wants so when it comes to the Moscone Cup, he wants, who are you going to call? Gorst Buster.
Listen, if you're gonna get that nickname, you better be willing to go and flip the coin with Fedor. I'll tell you that. So, and Fedor won't have any problems playing Sky Woodward. I can promise you that. So if I hope they do continue with that nickname, so that way Fedor can go and put them together and be ready to go and flip the coin. And I'm sure Omega TV and Steven will be happy to put that match on. Trust me.
Hey man, all I'm saying is, everybody said Sky's the bar box king, and Shane came in and proved him wrong. So Sky's gonna have to prove that he's the Gorst Buster. If that match can happen, I know Mike's probably watching or will watch. Let's make that match happen. What's cool about this stuff is as much as a fan as I am, like I really want to see those matches too. Sky and Fedor would be crazy.
Make Gorstbuster start trending on Facebook so we can just start stirring the pot a little bit, and we'll say it happened here on the Booth Brothers. So let's go and stir it up a little bit, Mark.
Sky and Carlo is going to be really, really good. Sky's got a really good break, but like you said, Carlo's a world champion, and for those that don't know about Carlo Beato, you're going to learn today. Not today, but soon.
Yeah.
What match would you really like to see if you could stream any match of what would be your dream stream? There you go. What would be your dream stream?
Oh man,
that's a great question.
I'm a sucker for Scotch doubles.
Me too. My favorite game.
I would love to see. I don't have a specific duo for the USA, but I would love to see Albin Ocean and Mario He play any combination of good US players, whether it's Shane and Sky or, it could be
Tyler and
any.
Skyler.
Yeah, it can be anybody. I just want to see that good Scotch doubles. The Mullet brothers, who aren't really the Mullet brothers anymore because I guess Billy cut his off. Yeah. They have such a good team dynamic. The same with Mario and Albin. I don't know how that game matches up, but I'd like to watch it.
Yeah,
Sky
my buddy
and Justin got a lot of chemistry like that too.
Yeah.
My buddy,
is there an Omega mullet on the way? I reckon you got the beginnings of one there. I reckon you could grow a good one of them, Steve.
And Omega mullet? Nah, I'm out. I'm out. My wife would kill me. She's sitting over here giving me the dirty.
What were you gonna say, Joe?
Right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, checking in on the chat here. We gotta like this whole line. Like Stephen, a lot of people appreciate you being in here. I could tell by the chatter going on. My buddy out here in Arizona, George Teashea, says that SVB versus Filler 10 ball. That's like the dream matchup. You know,
there's a lot of. I interviewed Shane after day 2, and we talked just a little bit. And I asked him. I said, what would be after this? And he said, well, I really don't have anything planned as far as matches. I've got this tournament, that tournament. I said, well, what would you want your next match to be? And he said, I'd love to play Joshua. I don't think there's anybody in the world that's a pool fan that doesn't want to see that match. So, Mike, let's make it happen, bud.
Yeah, we got.
Well, I'm just gonna put this out there. Let's just say that people on your side, and I'm sure you've heard this, Stephen. Maybe you won't be the one to say it, but calls have been made, messages have been sent, people have been reached out to, and let's just say that there's not a lot of feedback coming from, Germany back over here. So, but the offer's out there, and I've heard it's a pretty solid offer to go and play Shane.
Yeah,
I've heard they've offered it multiple times. So
yeah, I can't. I don't know how far those discussions have been, but I know there have been discussions. So, whatever the reason is, it hasn't happened yet. But let's all just cross our fingers that something comes through, and Filler gets his butt on a plane and comes over here and makes it happen.
Well, I think he'll be over here for the World 10 Ball. So, I mean, you may go and have a change of heart once you've been over here in the States for a few weeks and you got a few, thousands of dollars worth of flights and hotels and everything else going and adding up. And it's going to be a lot harder to go and turn down some money to go and play Shane. And when it comes to rotation, I'd be hard pressed to go and say there's a matchup. At least when it comes to like getting the fans excited, right? And and that kind of like Mosconi vibe, besides Shane and Filler. You want to talk about moving the needle and a lot of bets being on both sides. That's going to do it.
Sorry, I just wanted to comment that a lot of people in the chat, several people, Jessica Westbrook and a few others, are talking about Shaw and SVB. And I would agree with that, but it seems like lately Shaw's lost just a little bit of his edge, and he opened a pool room, got stuff going on. But 2 years ago, yeah, give me that match any day. But I think I'm with you guys now where I'd like to see SVB and Filler. I think that'd be my dream one versus.
It's weird how the dynamic changes. I have a good friend of mine that was kind of getting into pool around the time that Jason Shaw was really controlling that Mosconi Cup. And so that was the match that we wanted to see. And then you saw it, I think that was the first year they did the fans' choice. It was ridiculous how many people they voted for Shane and Shaw. That's the match everybody wanted to see. And now it's kind of moved on because Jason's doing whatever he's doing. He's got his pool hall up there, and he's taking control of that. And Filler's come on, and Filler is just, he's been really dominant in a lot of different areas. And so now that's the match everybody wants to see. And that's...
Well, you better strike while the iron's hot because, listen, Josh didn't look, I'll say it, Josh didn't look as sharp at the Mosconi Cup. He didn't look like the alien that we're used to seeing at the Mosconi Cup. He didn't look like the alien we're used to seeing at the U.S. Open. You can call it COVID stroke, or you can call it whatever it is you want, but you got to go and take advantage of these opportunities while your stock is high. Because like you said about Jason, and much respect to Jason and him providing for his family and opening a pool room, but when it comes to being that dominant player, and Josh is that dominant player, or at least he was before COVID, you got to go and take advantage of it, maximize it.
Yeah, I agree, especially while he's still young. He's not going to be young forever.
talking about Jason Shaw, and we all know that maybe he's just dropped in form a little bit, but then again, a lot of players have, I believe. But Jason Shaw is just the kind of character that if he heard his name mentioned, he would never shy away from a challenge, and he would be on that practice table, and he'd be hitting that practice table hard, and he'd be up for playing anyone. I mean, I know him a little bit, and he doesn't shy away. He's a gritty Scot,
Somebody tag him.
He'll be up for it.
Tag him. Let's get him out.
Yeah, tag him.
This is where we just stirred up over here at the Booth Brothers, boys.
That's right. Hey, Stephen, I want to ask you something a little different angle here. I know that obviously Omega, they do this, they make money on this and everything. So I'm not asking for like secrets, but there's a lot of people out there that are doing streaming, and I love the fact that you kind of started as, hey, my dream one day was to have a pro, and now you've turned into this big thing. So, I mean, what advice would you give somebody who's just kind of like toying around with the idea of getting started in streaming?
Gosh, there's a lot. If I could give just two pieces of advice, one. Put yourself out there as available. Go and set up at a local tournament, and when you put your headset on to do commentate it like you're commentating the Moscone Cup. Commentate it and make these local players feel like there's something special. It doesn't matter who they are,
Absolutely.
Because if you treat it like they're just a couple of amateur, league players, people are going to see it as, oh, they're just a couple of amateur league players. Make them feel special, and make them feel special on the stream. Give it your all for that. And then two is, just when you're ready to take it to the next level, don't sell yourself short. If you're gonna stream as a business, stream as a business. A lot of people can do it as a hobby. I've got cameras set up in my pool room right now that I just use to watch me. But if you're going to make it a business, make it a business and set yourself up to make a little money. You're not going to make millions. You're probably not going to make thousands. But if somebody says, hey, I've got a local pool tournament, you want to come stream it, don't sell yourself short, because you are what you say you're worth. And I mean, that's the key there. You have to know your worth. And you have to be worth something, and then know your worth. Put your all into it, and then people will see you that you're worth more than free.
I love those answers, and as somebody who's dabbled in streaming, streamed a few matches, I can tell you, like, it's sometimes kind of thankless. There's so much work that goes in behind the scenes to pull one of these things off. And then, like, sure enough, bad internet, or, I was streaming a match. It was a big one pocket match. I had Scott Frost in the booth commentating, and just out of nowhere, like, somebody pulled the plug, pulled the network plug, gone, internet gone. It's like, I lost the stream. Yeah, everybody did, So, but I appreciate those answers. One other thing. What is the methodology, or I know probably with Omega, you're probably still figuring some things out. What's the methodology? I asked because a couple of people have asked about, like, when you offer the stream for free and when it's pay-per-view. So, like, I think there was some question about, like, the last hour was offered of the last stream for free, yet it was pay-per-view, and just want to get your thoughts around that.
Yeah, so, and I'll put it to you the same way it was kind of put to me. So one, when we do the free stream, we try and do it at certain times to where it makes sense. Give people a little something and let them see what they're missing. Now, the question that's been asked a couple of times to me is, why did we go live at the end of Shane and Dennis? And I'll give you the flat answer. Mike came over to me and he said, hey, this is history. We need to give it to the pool fans because it's history. And I looked at him and I said, do you want me to go live on Facebook for free? And he said, yes. And I asked him again, I said, are you sure? And I shouldn't have. He's the boss and he knows what he's doing. But he is as passionate about pool as just about anybody I know. And I've always said, in my personal opinion, if you look at the UFC did pay per view for so long, and they did nothing for free. And then they did the Ultimate Fighter for free, and their very next pay per view was the largest pay per view they had ever seen, 78 times the amount of pay per view buys. So there's a theory there. So you give a little something for free, and I totally understand. People paid for it; they wanted it to be theirs and theirs alone because they paid the money to see it. But Mike saw it as history, and he wanted to. He wanted people to see it. The cool news is, and I don't have anything in this. It's not my decision, but for everybody else, they got to see 230 something games of pool. Yeah, we gave away 7 or 8 for free, but it's also like you said, it's just history. We got to see some of the best pool playing in the world, and for those that paid for it, they got to see the whole thing. And for those that didn't, they got to see a really important match, important ending of a match, and it was important. It was important for pool, I believe.
I wanna just chime in real quick and respond to it because I know Mike real well, and I hear a lot of and what people don't know is that Mike was hearing it from a lot of people about the issues when it comes to the streaming privately. I know because I saw it. And when I mean hearing from a lot of people, I mean people who had a lot of money bet on both sides and the frustrations that was coming from those people. So he was very aware. Mike is like Steven said, where he does have a passion and respect for the history aspect of it. But Mike's also not dumb. He understands that people have been frustrated because of the internet issues that happen around that event. And that also goes into why he's going to go and say, okay, listen, we've had all these problems. Let's just put it out there. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't want people to go and miss that history of it, and maybe instead of just keeping it close to the vest like the way he does. But I can tell you that they hear it. They're aware of it. They're working on it. It's not something where they're just there to take the money and move on. It's something that they spend a lot of care and time into. Some things you just can't fade. Like they, for whatever reason, whether it was the venue or what happened over there, I've never set up a stream, so I can't tell you the nerd stuff of it because I'm not that guy. But if I'm serious, hey, I'll leave that to tell you, Joey. But
hey, Mike, I can tell you. Hold on, I just have to tell you, a lot of people, I don't know if they noticed, but your mic tonight is exceptional, and you hooked that up. You got a new mic here, right?
Hey. I'm trying to get my nerd game up over here.
That's a Yeti.
I'm doing my best to go and step it up and be professional like you boys, But no, I mean it's just you're always gonna have people that go and you're always gonna get people that can get frustrated, and you're never gonna go and make everybody happy. And I get it, but like he heard it from a lot of people of the shit that was going on when it comes to the internet. Steven heard it, but I've also heard that there was a lot of preparation that went in ahead of time to make sure that stuff like this didn't go and happen, and shit still happens, but you just can't fade it, other than apologizing and the show must go on. That's all they can go and do. But you know what they also do? They'll give back by going live on Facebook. They'll give back by doing like that Efren tournament that you did not too long ago by going live for free on Facebook. Omega Mike sponsors a lot of players. A lot of this, he bankrolls himself on the gamble that he'll be able to go and make a little bit on the back end, but it's not a guarantee. But at the end of it, he loves action. He loves the game. He loves to help players if he can. And that's the reason why I've been on board with Omega TV since the beginning. And I don't care what Mike's doing. Mike can be selling peanuts on the corner, and he's going to have a Molina Mike sticker on there supporting him and sponsoring him, because I got a lot of love for Mike. So, and I'll go to bat for him whenever, and we'll get Mike on soon. So
we need to get a Mike.
That's my rant. I'm done.
We need to get an Omega sticker on this program.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Who can make that happen then?
We'll get Mike on before the Carlo event. I can guarantee it. All right, before the Carlo and Scott event, we'll get him on.
I do want to say just 2 things. So you were talking about, you never know what's going to happen. We did a lot of preparation. I was there Tuesday. The match started on Friday. I was there Tuesday, and we had a lot to work around. And we kind of tested everything, and everything was good. And we tested this and that, and we had to put up a new light, and it was awesome. There are no excuses. At 5:45, about 15 minutes before we go live, our internet just goes.
Oh.
So we did the best that we could, and I understand we're not going to make everybody happy with it, but for those that were that are still behind us and that looked at it and said, hey, it was kind of out of their hands, I appreciate you. For those that said, this is terrible, I'll never buy another one, I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I hope you change your mind, because we got a lot of crazy stuff coming up. But at the end of the day, we're doing a lot of stuff to try and fix things. We had a long meeting the other day, and we're about to buy a bunch of equipment that's going to help us with certain aspects. So, in the end, we appreciate everybody's critiques, their criticism, because if everybody told us all the good stuff, we wouldn't know what to fix.
Yeah, and not just like, I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, the pool. Like, obviously the streamers are stepping up their game, right? But also the pool rooms have to step up their game with internet, right? That's a big consideration. And if I were opening a pool room today, after the tables and the what tables and what balls and what equipment I was going to have, the next thing would be, I need rock solid internet. Right. And we're seeing that. So if there's going to be a match I'll just throw out a pool out, Griff's in Las Vegas, it better have rock solid internet if you want to stream big matches there. It does, so that I think is going to also help. You're going to see the rooms kind of upgrading,
Or just come back to Texas, because I'm tired of going to Oklahoma. I said it. I'll say it. I'll say it. All right. I don't want to travel to Oklahoma anymore. All right.
I got nothing wrong.
I'll bring it up to Mike. No, I'm kidding. We appreciate the bar owners and everybody who helps out and goes and puts it on. I'm just joking, but I do love Texas.
Hey, it might be 115 degrees in August in Arizona, but it's real nice inside the pool room. So you guys should come out to Arizona and do a big match.
I stopped in Arizona once. I stopped at a gas
Everyone
station.
Does.
And I got out of the car, went into the gas station, came back, and I had a sunburn. So I'm good.
All right.
Look, guys, we've got loads more to get through. I honestly could speak to you all night for hours and hours and hours. And I hope one day that we can, because we've got so much more to talk about. We've got our history. You've got history in radio. I know we had a little chat off air earlier on today. And you're a really interesting guy. And our careers are sort of going the same way. Yours has gone a lot higher than mine, of course. But my final question to you, will you give Mike Hong my phone number, please? It's 555-777-7771. Can you get him to call me, please?
I'll text him right now. Hey, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And for everybody that's supporting Omega, thank you. And to Omega Mike, thank you for putting me in a position to do something that I really love to do. It's been a lot of fun, and we're just getting started. So
awesome. Well, thanks,
Can't
Steve.
wait for the next thing. Tremendous. Well done.
We'll see you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thanks, Stephen.
He's a good guy. I like him.
The pool world are just such lovely people, aren't they?
Yeah, especially in America.
Lovely people. Especially in America. Yeah, I know I keep saying it. I've got to get out there. By the way, we had Kenneth Felton in a little. He did have a couple of questions, but we didn't get to him. Sorry about that, Kenneth. Kenneth, of course. He was the cameraman, wasn't he, when we had our first meet, Joey?
Is that right? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he supplied the cameras, didn't he, for Ship the Cash with Mike DeMarco?
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's him, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was him.
I get confused because there's another, I think it's a Feldman maybe. Hey, George Teache, if you're in here, let me know. Who's the guy that runs the Casino del Sol, where the big event is going to be down in Tucson? He has a similar name, I think. But he brings pool and billiards, actually 3 cushion billiards events to Tucson. and he's pretty big there in Arizona, the Arizona pool scene, and I think he has a similar name to Ken. So, oh, Paul Feltman. See, Paul Feltman. He's the guy that does events at
George
casinos.
is on point.
Yeah.
You're
Thanks,
hired, George. I love George's commentary, by the way. George does great commentary.
He's going to be commentating at the that Arizona event, from what I heard. So, stay tuned. You'll love it.
Yeah, he
when
does an awesome job.
When is that? Is it the 14th? When is it?
It starts the 28th. It starts
28th.
Next Wednesday. I'll be heading down to Tucson in the morning.
Yeah.
And the matches get underway, I believe, on Wednesday. And, you know, I'll probably last until Sunday, be the last one standing. But in all seriousness, I'll probably be out by Thursday.
How is your game going, Joey? Seriously.
You know, Mark, I got to tell you, I'm buying a house. So we're doing a little transaction here. So I've been really busy with that. Haven't hit balls in like,
okay.
Yeah, a day and a half. So it was kind of a last minute decision. So we'll see.
Wow. Hope the pool table's going with you.
Yeah, definitely.
A bigger one, maybe, a proper one, a man-sized one, a 9-footer. What about that?
Well, I got an 8 now, so I'm
Right, guys, shall we get to the caption competition? It was quite a good one this week. We got lots and lots of responses to it, and of course we also got lots of responses that we couldn't actually, well, that we can't air. It is a family show. So did you come up with any for this, Mike or Joey, or is this the first time you've seen it? You've been so busy with your house buying.
I had nothing here. I had nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's start with Monica Webb. We know Monica, of course, from Sticks in Georgia. Are we still there? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. It all went quiet for some reason.
Well, because Mike's getting our next guest situated there, so I took him off real quick, and he'll be back.
So it's Mike making all the noise, is it, with his new microphone?
Yeah.
So here we go then. Let's get to this. Monica Webb came up with a great one. Now, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the classic joke, but Monica's come up with "Welcome to Jamaica, have a nice day." Now, that is a great joke.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the old tattoo on the shaft joke where it says WY, but then when you get a little bit excited, it might say "Welcome to New York, have a nice day," or "Welcome to Jamaica, have a nice day."
I gotta bring. I need reinforcements. I'm bringing Mike back in for this one.
We got Martin Tracy saying 6-ball combo. Tony Curitan, P Faster. I hear banjos. I don't quite get that one. Is that an American joke?
Yeah, it's a southern joke.
It's a hillbilly. It's a hillbilly reference.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got another hillbilly reference as well, I think. Oh yes, Del Sim. He's a regular. He is a regular on this caption competition. He's come up with, remember guys, no more than 3 shakes or it means you're playing with it. And Matthew Benefic has come back and saying, that's me I'm on my 10th shake. What?
Oh.
Now, who are we going to give it to?
Dell's already.
I would say Dell, but y'all owe Dell so many wins already. We might be on the bad action list by the time.
I don't think we've given. We do this caption competition all the time. I don't think we've actually given out one prize for the caption competition.
No,
I don't know.
We haven't. I'll bring them all with me when I come. Jake Lawson has tried to get a very, very sneaky little advert in for his clothing range, I think. He says, Del Sim, that's still one of my favourite T-shirts that we did. It's all about the wood. Glad to see this is out there still.
Oh, man. Well,
you know more about that than me.
Hey, let me tell you, Jake's made me a couple shirts. In fact, after I ordered a couple shirts from him, one day I open up the mail and I have this shirt that he made for me. Total surprise, had no idea it was coming. It's got my name on the back. It's kind of cool. So it's one of those jersey things where you put my logos on it and stuff like that. So, shout out to Jake there for that. Thank you.
You're just a walking A-board with your cap and your T-shirt. I bet
he just likes dropping names whenever he can.
Yeah. I tell you what, if I had a Hanshew jump cue, I'd be having that right next to me right now. Maybe Melina and Mike can hook that up because it looks like our next guest is here.
Hey, look, he looks brilliant, doesn't he? Hello, mate. I've never met you before. James Hanshew, the cue maker. How you doing? Now, Mike is always talking about you, and he reckons you make the best jump cues in the world.
I don't know about that. I guarantee each and one of my jump cues to jump better than a dollar store broomstick.
What an advert!
That's my only guarantee.
Well, without giving out any secrets, James, what's a key to making a good jump cue?
I really don't know. A lot of people ask me like, what's different about yours? I think the big difference is I feel like a lot of people make a really good jump cue, and I think they look at it and they say, "Man, I made a great jump cue," and so they roll with it. And I guess I've been making them for 16 years. Probably the first 8 years, I thought I made a good jump cue, and then like the guy that was just talking about having to get negative feedback. I used to have to beg people for negative feedback. I'd like, tell me what you don't like about it so I can make it better. And so I spent probably 8 years trying to make it better until I didn't see any other way to go. Where I thought like I didn't stop when I made a good jump cue. I stopped when I didn't think I could make a jump cue any better.
Oh, good answer. I like that.
So.
You keep some good company there, Mike. So come on, Mike. You spend a lot of time with James, and I know you're down there and you've got a lot of respect for him. So tell us, a little bit about him, about the operation and stuff.
Yeah, so I've been a dealer for James for a few years now, and now the only dealer for James. And if there's anything about James that I can go and say is he's one of the most giving people that I could ever have met. He'll give you the shirt off his back to help you out, and that's kind of why we brought him on tonight, was to go and talk about another one where James is going and giving back to pool. I've been working with James now for I think a couple months now, and
you tell him how that came about.
Nobody else would return the call. Or nobody wanted to come out here in the middle of nowhere where there's no internet.
I have severe management issues for myself, and so I kind of needed a boss and I needed a secretary. The business was more than I could handle by myself. And so big surprise, I was late on one of Mike's orders, and so he's griping at me, and I'm like, well, you know what? You're offering all this free advice. Like, why don't you come up here a week, 1 week out of the month, and you can just take over all this stuff. And he took me up on it. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And it's gonna work out good because I did need a secretary and and a boss. Yeah, he keeps things lined out and rolling, and he takes care of all the stuff that I let slip through the cracks. So
yeah, James is by far the knowledge man and the execution, and me, I just I'm kind of like like the wife here in the shop, just bitching at him when I can to do better at this or do better at that, and but James is all about efficiency, so we make a pretty good duo, and man, I'm proud to work with them, and like I was saying, part of what makes James great is just his willingness and to go and give back to pool. And this year, James has been a sponsor of the Texas Open for how many years now?
Carry the one.
Probably.
You want to borrow some fingers and toes?
Probably close to 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I think either the 34th or the 35th was my first year. No, not 15 years. More like maybe 12 or 13. 12 or 13, maybe.
Yeah, he's every time I've been coming up here, he's always been around and just been a solid guy. And anyway, he had called me, and I've been kind of the one to tell James, like, okay, we need to chill out at sponsoring this or sponsoring that, like just trying to make the business more responsible. And whenever he brought up the idea of doubling the added money for the women's event at the Texas Open this year, I couldn't really argue with him. You know, James having the history that he does with Skinny Bobs and the Texas Open, and just the idea of us doubling their added money was something great. So I said, let's do it. James was on board. We got everything ordered, and we're actually here now for 2 weeks, rocking and rolling. There's the flyer that Tam had made up. So we've actually got, out of the 7 we've done one so far, and we got 5 weeks to go. So we're hoping to get 5 more done before the Open, and then 2 more or at the event. I mean, so.
And the money's guaranteed either way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to put the money in. It's just, you know, the cues. If you know, we sell the 7 cues, and that keeps it from coming out of Mila's diaper fund. You know. So.
Yeah, for sure. We don't want any babies recycling diapers around here. So.
So we're a big fan of women here, James. Mark had a show dedicated to female players. Why the Women's Open? Why did you want to double the prize pool for that, or the added money?
Well, I guess probably for 2 reasons. You know, when I first got in the pool, I sponsored a few players. There were good players that I gave cues to, and the men, like, you turn around and they'd sold it the next week or whatever, and like the women have just always been great, been loyal. I've not once ever gave a woman a pool cue and then like found out a week later that, like, you know, she sold it or whatever. It's just the women have been really, really great to deal with, and it's always bothered me, you know, like before there was 4,000 added 500. Like, these women, they go to a tournament and they win first and lose money, and that's just not right. Like at least you should get something. I mean, so I thought it'd be nice, you know, if they can come and make a payday instead of coming hoping to win first and maybe cover their trip. So.
Yeah, have you guys gotten any feedback on this? Have you, heard from some of the ladies out there that are really excited this year to have a chance at, because this would be $5,000 added, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's 5,000. Actually makes it 1,000 over what before Kim and Tracy bought Skinny Bobs. That makes it 1,000 over what the entire Texas Open had added before. It was generally about 4,000 added, with 1 or 2 years exceptions. So
now they're going on 40, and we're a part of it. And I'm
can't say enough good thing about Kim and Tracy. They bought Skinny Bobs. If y'all didn't see it before or after, it's they've done an amazing job with the place.
Yeah.
We're really working hard, and I've been pushing James, and we're coming out with new colors. We're working on the finish, and it's gotten really great. And James knows, because I've complained to him enough times about it, and we're pushing the envelope, and we're looking to debut probably like 4 or 5 different looks there. No, probably like 3 or 4 different looks there at the Texas Open, and then right after that we'll be going to BCA in Las Vegas. So we gotta. I know, at least for me, man, I'm spending a lot of time on the road the next 2 months. So, but we both got a passion for the game.
We're not going on the road. We're gonna fly to Vegas. I will take a road trip with Melina Mike any day of the week as long as Johnny Rocket goes.
Listen,
with us.
We'll tell the Derby the Derby story another time. But let's just say I did 0 driving, and
and 0 what else?
I held the flashlight, I think, on a couple of breaks.
Come on, you two. You're acting like secretary and employer. Come on, let's keep it nice, you two. There's actually a few little things in the chat for you, James. A guy called Carl Honey. Do you know him? That's the guy, you know, that made up the new nickname for Sky.
Oh, nice.
The Ghostbuster. He says he was playing earlier on, using one of your jump cues, made a great jump to win the rack. So he was very happy with your jump cue. Who else have we got?
Thank you, Carl.
We've got Stephen. Oh, Steve. We just had Steve on the. He's still here. He loves his pool, doesn't he? You can't get rid of him. Go.
He's actually.
He said, Hanshu has been bad luck on what?
There he is.
Oh,
He's still
hanging
guys,
around.
yeah, man, I'm still hanging out. This is fun.
stay with us. Stay with us. We love it. We love having you with us. Go on, Joey. Sorry.
We are all just a bunch of guys who got a passion for the game and want to see it grow. And that's not just me and James, but Stephen and Mark and Joey and.
Oh, and in the beginning, Stephen said that he wanted one of my jump cues. This is the guy to talk to, Stephen.
No. Actually,
I need to see. I need to see some credentials, buddy.
I have an original. I have
I
have a handwritten June of 2008 Hanshu.
Oh, that's 2 years after I started. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said the only one that was not as old as that was Ernesto's.
Yeah, and then I know they're out there. I just have not got a picture or seen. I've yet to see one that's actually dated 2006. I was making them in 2006. Ernesto got his early in 2007. So that would be probably the second earliest that I've seen.
So
in a little while.
Yeah. So James, I'm curious because I know, especially with cue makers, when something gets popular, like your jump cue has gotten, the demand for it goes like faster than you can make them, and so like what is that like, trying to manage that cycle of I got so many people on cues and trying to get them done? Like, if you started making a cue right now this second, how long till it's done typically?
A jump cue or a playing cue?
A jump cue.
Well, I mean, at a very minimum, you're looking at 4 months. If things aren't already in the works, and that's still kind of pushing it, because you've got to give the shafts time to turn down. So, that I guess 4 months would be an absolute minimum.
Got it.
To answer your question.
Yeah.
As far as the supply and demand, what that's like, that's like when you take a redneck like me that knows nothing about business. Up until recently, I worked full time. I put 18 years in on the ambulance, so I worked 48 to 72 hours a week. And yeah, that's why Mike's here. Like, it's just like, imagine the worst catastrophic failure you can. I get behind, and then I forget to order stuff, and then I try to get caught back up on track, and I turn around and do something. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to order that. Yeah, it's just. I like to make sawdust. I don't like running a business. So
yeah. James's ADD can be a little tough to keep, dialed in. So we got to go on and keep him focused around here.
Whenever Mike talks, James looks at him, and
that's Mike trying to excuse himself for being a slave driver. He yelled at me today because I needed to pee, and I've been holding it for 2 hours, and he's like.
I'm gonna tell the audience this, because when we logged on today, and James is sitting there with like the dirtiest t-shirt. Looks like he had worked for like 27 straight hours, and Melina's looking like better than he's ever looked sitting there. So I think I do see that there probably is Melina working you pretty hard over there. But I think it's a good team, and it's going to allow you guys to do even more,
I agree. Yeah, we're doing a lot of good things, and we're working hard. That's for sure. So I got my family here. James has got a newborn daughter, so we got a lot of mouths to feed when it comes to jump cues, and then we're still giving back. So
this is just the beginning. I hope to give.
Yeah,
for
sure. Yeah, James would give away everything, so I got to go and make sure we try to at least sell some to keep afloat, But no, but I couldn't be more proud to work with a better person, and same way like Joey and Mark, So I like keeping good, genuine people around me, and James is that. And yeah, we're available, and we're gonna have stuff coming up in the next month or two.
So obviously the brand is out there. Everybody knows about it. I've been hearing about it for years. But for those that don't know how to get in touch with you, how to order, did they go through you, Mike? They hit you up on Facebook? Got it.
Now, everything's. I mean, you can hit up the business page. It's fine, which I encourage that actually. Or you can visit the website HanshewCustomQs.com, or just get with me on Facebook and message me directly. James is also on Instagram. Well, I mean, you have an Instagram account. I mean, I'm not saying you manage it, but he's not there taking selfies.
Don't send a message. If you send a message on Instagram, nobody's ever seen it, or I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So
he's so laid
somebody
back,
will see it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, you can send a message anywhere, and we'll be able to see it. So it may not be this guy going and responding, but we're gonna get to it, and the future's bright, and it's the Hanshew brand, and I'm proud to be on this team. So
awesome. Well, guys,
you've always got some great things to say about James Hanshew. I know you have. You're always talking about him, always talking him up.
Yeah, it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Every time he says something good about me, it's $20.
I think you should honour him. I can see a special Molina Mike jump cue coming out with his little logo of his hat on the butt. I reckon that'd look quite cool, actually.
We did that once. We did that one batch, so we'll see if we can come up with some more. We'll give another swing upcoming, but yeah, it's been a lot of weeks on the road.
Maybe a boost.
And now his ass is having to get to work.
Well, we know, James, he's going to have you get back there and start getting on that lathe again. So we really appreciate you stopping in. I'd never met you, so it's good to meet you or virtually meet you. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'll be out there at the BCA Expo, so I'm sure I'll see you out there. But, we wish you the best of luck. I think it's a good idea to team up with Molina. I think you guys are going to do some great things. So thanks so much for joining.
It was an honor to be on the show, and y'all all have a good evening.
You as well.
I love his accent.
I do too. Accent. I think it's New York City. Is it New York City? No.
Even I know that.
About me?
They're talking about you, buddy. Yeah.
You're talking to me?
You're talking
is that your Robert De Niro impression, is it? He's doing impressions now.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off Molina while they get the furniture rearranged over there. But, it's so funny. I was like, New York City. And he's like, you talking about me? Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
What a great guy. We've had some great guests tonight, haven't we? I mean, we always do, though, don't we? They always seem to relax on this show because it's just a bit of fun.
That Stephen guy was a little... Oh, wait, he's still there. Oh, sorry, Stephen.
I mean, this show is so much fun. It's simple. There's not a whole lot of pressure. It makes it a lot of fun to get involved in it.
That was
fun. I went outside. I came back in. I was watching on my phone outside. I came back in and I'm watching on my phone. I'm like, wait a second. I got a front row seat. Why am I watching on my phone? So throw my headset back on and hang out.
Hey, man, your dog came in the room barking. Somebody opened the door. That's just how we roll here. It's just fun. We
love it.
Yeah. And I got to give Mark White a lot of credit for that because when we were talking about this show and kind of dreaming about it, the idea was, for me, something serious about pool. And Mark was like, no, let's bring the lighter side, and it's been a lot of fun. Let's bring Molina Mike back in. I think they're done chattering over there. Hey, Molina, thanks for...
James is a talker.
You go well together. We all go well together. We're all good talkers. We all love a good old talk, don't we? Just want to go over some quick little news snippets, and then I want to get onto the US Open payouts subject. That's been causing quite a bit of a stir. I really want to get your guys' views on that. Just leaving pool to one side just for a quick second. Yasmin Ocean, did you see, has just been invited onto Dance with the Stars. So I'd love to see that. But I had the pleasure of meeting her at the Milton Keynes at the World Pool Championships. What a lovely, lovely lady. So, and I bet she can move as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing her on that. We've already touched on the
Benny Hill,
the Torsten Holman. Yeah, Torsten Holman, of course, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is great, and hopefully we're going to have him on the show within the next 2 weeks. We're working on it, so that's one for the future. Guys, let's talk. I know it's a little bit away at the moment, but the US Open, lots of chat about the payouts. I just want to get your guys' views on it, really.
Yeah, there it is. I mean,
what do we think?
Yeah.
Well, I think that, I forget who said this, but somebody, it was to the Omega post talking about a tournament with 40,000 added. I think Mike Pinoza was like, he saw that, and somebody was like, well, what do you think about this? And he said, well, based on the fact that, Matchroom announced this with like 100 and some thousand added, and people complained about it, I think they'll probably complain about that too. I mean, until we really grow it, right? This is better. This is better. I think Federer won for the World Championship $30,000, didn't he?
Yeah.
What did Albin win this past year? Do you guys know?
I think 50. I think.
Was it 50?
For the World Pool Championships?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50,000, I think, and then 30 to the runner-up, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the nature of what we're facing here. And, I think I saw a post from like Dennis Hatch who said, man, it's tough because you got to get in the top 16 to make money, and I don't think he was bitching about it or anything. I think it's just the reality of what it is. If you fly out there, if you get accommodations, by the time you add up expenses, you really do need to crack the top 16. And, oh, by the way, it's going to be the best players in the world. We saw what the field looked like the last time they had the U.S. Open. So, I don't know. I don't know that there's an answer to this right now. It's just going to take more time. What do you think, Melina?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on Matchroom shit list enough to know to stay away. Topics like this. But
come on, honestly,
that's
why we're here.
No, I mean, listen, it's number one, I'm glad they're having a U.S. Open. I mean, let's just be real. They're a European company, and to be able to logistically go and execute a U.S. Open here in the States, my hat's off to them for that. But when it comes to when it comes to the payouts, I think it's part of the learning experience of it all. They're going to get the feedback, and I think they're going to go and adjust. Personally, I would have rather have seen that 33 through 97 money just stick in the top 32 and have theirs be more juicy. That's just my opinion. I don't think you're ever gonna go and please anybody, but just the idea of like showing up there, flying over there, food, everything else, and then let's say you get 66 through 97th, and you're break even on your entry, but you're still losing money. Like I don't know. I would have just rather that money came through the 32nd or the top 32 and end there. But listen, it's their party. They can do it how they want. But I do think that they'll learn from it. That I got enough faith in their ability to be successful that I think they'll take the feedback and they'll adjust. And I don't think we'll see the same. Or maybe it'll be more added money next year, and they'll still pay as deep, But at the end of it, I trust Matchroom, man. I do.
I think it's an interesting statistic somebody put on Facebook that 128th at golf. Now, this will I know you can't compare pool with golf, but this is just how far apart the sports are maybe in prize funds. 128th in the US Open golf pays, I think I read, $27,500 for 128th, for coming 128th. That sort of shows, doesn't it, how the chasm between the sports.
I wonder what the entry fee is though for a golf tournament. I'm sure it's higher.
I don't know.
Yeah, but one thing I found about this chart that I think is pretty interesting, and I see Steven's itching to say something, so
yeah,
I'll turn it over to him after this. I want to get his opinion. But I've spec'd out some tournaments before, and thought about, what if we could do this? And, you look at this number, this 300,000, and it looks like a big number. But as soon as you put in that first place and start working your way back, and then you start multiplying, like, oh, there's 8 places here and 4 places here, and you see this math that's behind this, you see $300,000 doesn't get you as far as you would think it would, right? Oh, $300,000 tournament, the winner will get 100,000. No, it's not even possible to give the winner 100,000 unless you're only going to pay such a small percentage of the field. What do you think, Stephen?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of dumb to this stuff. I was a tournament director before I was a streamer. One, my big question is, how much added money do they add to a golf tournament? I don't know these answers. I don't know the answer to that question, so it's kind of confusing for me. But they're adding $108,000. They're adding a third of the tournament fund, which is incredible. Are they paying it out wrong? I don't know. But until somebody says, hey, this is how you should do it, and then explains it in a sense to where it makes sense logistically, financially, and it makes sense for the players, I don't think we'll ever get there. And there's so many people saying, oh, I love these payouts, or, oh, I hate these payouts. I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out to decide what the right way to do that payout structure is. I don't know. It's weird for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, George Teashe is back on here, and he's saying that and this is the same thing Ozzie Reynolds says, until the sport becomes a spectator sport, we will not see large purses. And when we had Ozzie on a couple weeks ago, if you remember, it was an awkward moment because we had Mike DeShane and Ozzie in the same screen, right? And at that moment, Mike DeShane found out that it's 2 races to 4 in these pro tournaments, and he's like, "What?" And it's like, "Why is this?" And Ozzie's trying to explain. But Ozzie's perspective, I think, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure, is that we have to do some things to tweak the game to make it more interesting to spectators, right? Matchroom, the Moscone Cup is interesting to spectators. My wife will watch that. If it was every day, she'd turn it on and watch it. She loves it. But if I try to get her to watch a race to 11 amongst 2 pros, she's probably not going to watch that, And so I just think that's kind of, an interesting point and kind of part of this discussion.
They turned around snooker. I mean, so you got to give them. It's not going to happen overnight. That's just my thoughts on it. And Mark, what would something like a first place pay like in a snooker tournament?
Yeah. Well, the prize for winning the world championship this year was £500,000.
Okay, but how long from when they first took it over to now? That progression over time of what all they've done. I think they deserve that benefit of the doubt without jumping down their throats.
Yeah. Look, what Matchroom are very clever at doing is giving players a chance, giving everyone a stage to come and play on. So they'll introduce all these new tournaments, and I'm sure they're going to do it with pool. I know they'll do it with pool. They're very, very good at what they do, and they will introduce. We often talk, Joey, about making celebrities out of the players, letting the audience get to know them, and that then brings more interest from spectators and that's what Matchroom are very, very good at. And you can bet your life that Emily Fraser's got things up her sleeve that they're working on, and you've only got to see the last few tournaments. They improve with every single tournament, with the interviews, with the with the venues, with all the stuff going on in the background and the commentary and everything. They know what they're doing, and it's just going to it's a hard task to do it with pool. And don't forget, they're doing it without any money being added from any other big companies, because they just can't get TV companies interested in the sport to throw money at it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen now, and these are the full payouts. So £500 for first, a runner-up got 200, then 100, right on down. The last 112, which is kind of weird number, but you'd think 128, but it's 112. They do things weird overseas. I don't know. Sorry, Mark. But they got £5,000, And then they also have these bonuses, which is kind of cool for highest break, maximum break, and in the qualifying stage and the main stage. So there's a ton of money to be won in that event. So it's
I've got to agree with you though on one thing you just said. They do things strange overseas. I agree with that 100%.
All right.
Hey, so I have a question on that.
Yeah.
£5,000 to the last 112. How does that compare to what's the last payout for the U.S. Open? Is it 1,000, which is the same as the entry? No, it's 750, which is the same as the entry fee.
Yeah.
So what's the entry fee? It's an invite tournament, right? The World Snooker Championship.
No, you have to qualify.
Qualifier.
Yeah.
So do we know what it costs to qualify for that?
I think it's about £1,500
Okay, so
to enter.
So you enter there, and then you qualify, and then you're going to travel. So I mean, realistically, when we look at that, are those payouts that far off? Compared to the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I mean, only the top 32 actually go to the final tournament and play the tournament at the Crucible venue. All the rest have gone out. And they're the ones that have come through. Well, the top 16 obviously go straight through seeds, and then the other 16 come from the qualifiers.
Okay, I love snooker, and I love to watch it. I just don't know a whole lot about the structure of how they do things. Just because it's not as open over here in the U.S., you really have to dig to find some of that info.
You see, the big difference with the two sports, with snooker, it's basically, there's a few tournaments around the world, but the main place for snooker is the UK. If you're an overseas player, if you're a Chinese or a Thai, you will live in England, because most of the tournaments are around Europe. So their expenses, for one, are not anywhere near as high as travelling as a pool player travelling around and getting hotels, because they all live here, So it's kind of more lucrative as well. Plus, there's big money in sponsorship.
Hey, can we get an update, Melina? Can you give us an update on where you spent last week and what happened, real quick? Give us the rundown.
Oh yeah,
I was in Iowa with Pat Deviney, and then for a couple of days helping him get ready for the Midwest Billiards and Q Expo. There it is. Was fortunate enough to go to Des Moines for a couple of days. I did get to sweat the one pocket, which was fantastic. Shane took it down, even though he hates one pocket.
Give us three takeaways from that event, Mike. The whole event.
Oh man,
McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell.
Number one, Skies and Stroke. He made it to the finals. Number two, I wish Shane played more one pocket or gave a shit about it more, because I think he could really cause a lot of waves and make a lot of money. Also playing one pocket. And the third thing is, the third thing is that I don't think Alex's one pocket game is quite what it used to be, but he's showing he's still an elite rotation player, But I've been hearing that you might get to see a real big one pocket match coming up real soon, and I mean big. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So
nice.
Stephen's eyes lighting up there. He knows something about that, I'm sure. That
I think I figured it out just from the internet traffic, and now with Mike saying that. But I'm not going to say anything.
Hey guys, I'm just going to let you know, I'm left out.
Tony would be pissed if I did.
I get a text 2 days before I'm supposed to leave, and they say, "Hey, go here, be here on this day." I know they say, "Hey, we got an upcoming match." I go look at Melina Mike's post to see if I can figure out who I'm streaming.
He knows everything.
Melina, you just totally gave it away, bro. The whole thing.
All I said was that Tony would be pissed. That's all I said, because it was Tony's post, So
okay.
It will involve Mr. Chohan. That much I can go and say.
Okay.
Aside from that, I can't say a whole lot more.
Hey, Mark, you made me download this video. Are we ready to show this video?
I'm a bit embarrassed to show it now, actually. I think we'll save it for next week. What do you reckon?
No, we're showing it. I'm showing it.
Can I just say then, before you show it, it did get a gold award from Mr. Florian Kohler Venom himself. He said this is gold, and he's going to share it as well. So yeah, go on. It's just a little bit of fun I had. I'm not embarrassed.
Here we go.
Hi Venom. Well, I've been watching your trick shots for about 2 years now, and you're good. You are really, really good. But I think I have a trick shot that can beat you, and you cannot beat. So here we go. This is called the don't pot a ball, but make the beer disappear. Okay, here we go.
Go.
I am so embarrassed by that. Do you know what? That was.
This is what a year of lockdown will do to you, right? Any excuse you can to go and just chug a beer.
Chug.
Yeah.
The funny thing
Mark's
is,
just all about that life. You know?
I went to the pool hall with my nephew, right? And I asked him to video it. So I've done it the first one like that, and he's all he's done is taken a picture. He forgot to press the video button. So I actually literally had to do it again, unfortunately. And the second time was very hard, I must say, because I'm not a really big drinker, you know. I don't mind the odd beer while I'm having a go.
Oh man. Well, hey, look, can we? So Board Lockpicker stuck with us this whole show. So I want to make sure that we give him a shout out. Thanks again to Board Lockpicker. It's a YouTube channel. Go there, subscribe after this. He supports pool. He supports streams. He supports this show. So, guys, do us a favor. Head on over to Board Lockpicker and subscribe as soon as this show's over. And we're going to give you our Board Lockpicker Lock of the Week. What are we going to pick this on, guys? What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? What do you think, Mike? What event?
I don't know, man. You always put me on the spot.
What
Lock of the Week.
Yeah, what's
what
this
is coming up? I don't even. I'm in an 18-wheeler, man.
Hey, I got one. How about what about the Scott Frost Bobby McGrath 8-ball match? You heard about this?
Scott's stealing. Stop it. Scott's gonna rob Bobby.
They have been yapping online for the longest.
I heard, yeah. You better watch. You better watch what you ask for, though. I'll tell you that, because Scott can still play. Oh, I got one. The lock of the week. My lock is that the One Pocket video won't drop this week, but it'll drop soon. So, and Joey will be a part of that. So that'll be my lock. There you go.
Oh, we're doing
Scott,
on Pool Player Podcast. We're doing a One Pocket power ranking video. It's going to be our update to the last one where we all dogged it. We left Efren Reyes out of that. We left all kinds of people out of that. So we're doing it again. But yeah, it's going to be me, Melina Mike, Oscar Dominguez, and Mike Davis doing that. But in all seriousness, I'm going to pick Scott by 10 games. I think they're racing a 38 ball. And so I'm going to go with that as my lock of the week. And I think it's sometime in mid-August. And, Bobby's a good 8-ball player. I played him. They're playing on a bar box. But what a lot of people don't realize is Scott is actually, I believe his first game was 8-ball bar box, or it was his best game until One Pocket became his best game. So that's what I'm going with. You got anything, Mark?
Yeah, just going back to that bar box. Do you know, I fell in love with that game watching the Sky Shane match. I love that game on the bar box. I think it's a terrific game, and I love 8-ball on a bar box as well. Just want to put that out there. It's coming from the snooker. It's a great game. Not so much room and lots of little intricate shots. So I love the bar box game, and I really, really want to get into that when I get out to the States. As far as my locker, oh, by the way, very quickly, finally a trick shot I can do, says the Board lock picker. that was kind of cool, I thought. And my lock of the week is, I guarantee this will happen. You will see Melina Mike on the Cue It Up Network podcast one day this week. That's my lock of the week. He's a streaming. You are a podcast whore, Mr. Molina, Mike.
It'd be listen. I'm all over the place. It's a
Mike,
dedication.
Mike, listen. I just have to ask you this, Molina. We'll queue it up. Put you on the Mount Rushmore of the Queue It Up network. You were on the Mount Rushmore. Okay, so just remember that. Okay.
It's gonna be. I need to get that hat made with the Booth Brothers on there. That's what I need. Because I like that black and white.
And he's got center stage as well.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen,
right in the middle.
Stephen, you're in on this. You got to give us a lock. So think of a match coming up or something, and it's got to be your lock of the week. Let's go. We do this every week. We let you go last. We were kind of cutting you a break here.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm trying to think of the stuff that's coming up.
Yasmin Ocean to win Strictly. To win Dance with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
It'd be Texas Open related.
Ooh, you know what? All right, here's my lock of the week. At the Texas Open, I will get an interview with Naoki Oi. He's my favorite. He's my favorite player for none other reason than he gives the best interviews. So mark my words. When I go to the Texas Open, Naoki Oi's on the list. I'm going to get an interview. But if you want a serious lock, I think Anton Raga places top 3.
Wow.
So
He ain't
Stephen,
gonna be there. I heard.
have you ever seen that streaming service Railbirds? Railbirds TV?
I feel like I have. I mean, I've seen a ton.
Okay. So
I think I have.
So Sky Woodward does like an intro for them. He's like, "This is Sky Woodward, and you're watching Railbirds TV." If you can get Naoki Oi to do that for the Booth Brothers, you will be forever our favorite guest. So just get him to go, "Hi, it's Naoki Oi, and you're watching the Booth Brothers." Okay, can you get that for us?
Hey, you put me on the Mount Rushmore, I will get that video.
Well, get the video first, and then we'll talk.
I like it.
Awesome, man. What do we got, Mark? I think that's about it for this week.
I think that's about it. It's been a great show. It's been so much fun tonight, and we've had some great guests again. Thank you so much to Stephen Wyatt sat there. We started with Tony Robles, of course. What a gentleman he was. And also, thanks also to James Hanshew. He was a great character. Yeah, he certainly was. And Melina, you are always top value, mate. Your insider knowledge is second to none. Joey, you're always the professional one. And I'm just the idiot. Thank you so much for joining us on the Booth Brothers. Please like and share it. Please share it with your friends. The more people we can get watching it, the more of these things we can do. We don't get anything for it. We just do it for love of Paul, don't we?
Yes, and like Stephen said about getting information, like what they did wrong, like let us know. What do you want to see in this? You know, if there's something different you want to see, if there's a different format, if you have feedback for us, we're completely open to that. We want to make this show the best it can be for getting pool information out there, having fun, and talking about pool and promoting the game. So anything you guys have, let us know. We'd be happy to incorporate it. Well, most of it.
Yeah, and finally, thank you to everyone that has watched and commented and asked questions. Without you, why do we do it? You know, thank you so much. Thank you. Please go ahead and support Stephen and Amiga TV on the streams. Please support all the streams. Give what you can to them because they do a lot of hard work. It's stress, it's time consuming, and they do so much for the sport. And trust me, I've been there, I've done it, and it's the toughest thing to do in the game. I'd rather go and practice 8 hours a day than stream, trust me. So thank you so much to all the streamers, all the viewers, for everyone that does any little bit of good that gets the word out for Paul. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week with another Booth Brothers show.